help other people, right? But like I said, we need to learn how to ask for help, and we need to know our limitations, right? So I want to be able to normalize something, right? So the first key point is going to be talking about, dependable people. They are quiet and they struggle in silence, right? So you may often find yourself in a situation where people are always turning to you. You often figure these things out, right? And over time, you don't realize it, but you're taking on, like I said, that responsibility, and you're not taking consideration about what about you? What about, do you need any help, right? Do you need any support, right? We gotta take in consideration that we don't have the answers. We're not made to be perfect. We're made to improve. But like I said, we need to be more intuitive. We gotta know what's really going on with ourselves, right? So there's nothing wrong about leaning on to other people, seeking that support. The same way people are leaning on you for that support, you gotta be able to lean on someone else for support, right? You can't be trapped in a corner, you know what I mean, in the back of the back, right? And also at the same time, too, closed mouths don't get what? They don't get fed. No one is able to read your mind, to know what's going on with you. So it's really important for you to advocate for yourself and seek that support, right? When it comes to that psychoeducation, to keep us grounded, to give us some more insight and information, right? First key point, I want to take into consideration that you're not meant to handle everything alone, like I mentioned before, right? So support is part of how we function as human beings. We got to interact with each other, right? So it's good to have solitude. It's good to know what's going on and be intuitive with yourself, right? And get away from distractions, right? But too much of that is not good for your wellness, right? So it's really important for us to interact with each other, and develop that connection, develop that bond, develop that support, right? So holding everything in, the weight does not disappear, right? And over time, it gets heavier and it gets heavier and it's heavier, right? So how many blocks, how many bags, how many, you know what I mean? Whatever analogy you want to put in your head, are you going to hold within yourself, right? At a certain time, like I said, it's going to get heavier and heavier. And when it comes to mental health, I don't want to see you tore from the floor, but I don't want to see you down bad, right? And I don't want to see all these things turn into dysfunction into your reality, into your world. So I really want to take consideration that we got to be able to reduce some of the stress, right? Have some coping skills, deep breathing, right? Things that you like to enjoy to boost your mood, make you feel better, right? But we also need to take in consideration that we need some support, whether it's professional, you seek a therapist, social worker, someone at your school, someone around you, right? Talking to a friend, right? But we got to be able to talk, you know what I mean, and get this out of our system, right, in a healthy way. So I also want us to know as well that even the most capable people have their limits too, that deserve that respect too. So we got to be able to take that in consideration. This goes across the board, whether you're a celebrity, whether you feel me, you in the middle class, right? It doesn't really matter. Or, the poverty threshold, wherever you find yourself. At the end of the day,